Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to Popternative. This is the talk show and podcast where we have digital discussions, the worlds of TV, film, news, music, pop culture, everything really, depending on the guest, we talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. I'm speaking to the band Good Boy Daisy, who just released a song called Never Learn featuring the Rex, which is available everywhere you listen to music. We're going to have them introduce themselves, what they do, the band, and we will get into it.
Yes, sir. I am Hallie Mays, and I'm the singer of Good Boy Daisy.
And I'm Dylinn, and I play guitar.
Hallie, Dylinn, welcome to Popternative.
Thank you for having us.
I mean, I said in the intro, Never Learn came out. This is, a lot of people will call this a banger. This is a bop. This is a great tune. You guys put this out. The reception has just been amazing. Talk a little bit about that. What was that kind of like a couple of days before you actually released the song?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was nerve-wracking. We were so excited to release it, and there was just so much energy behind it, and having the Rex on it and having them featured. It was just
definitely
so exciting.
Like a relief when we released it, because we've been sitting on it for a while, and
we were just ready.
We just knew we love this song so much, and we're just ready to get it out there.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Now, Hallie, you guys are twins.
Yes, we are.
And it's one of those things where it's pretty cool that, you get to not only, be with your sister all the time, your sisters, but your bandmates, your teammates. Yeah. What's that dynamic like?
Ooh, go ahead, Dill. Take it away.
There's some good and bad times, but mostly good. We just write so well together, and we're always just thinking the same things.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds like cliche, but always on the same page, and we're doing what we love together.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of chemistry between us.
Absolutely. Either you can answer this. I mean, it's one of those things you mentioned, like Never Learn is featuring the Rex. That's a great group. People know about that group. They're all over the airwaves and on Spotify and everything. How does a collab like that, like this specific collab, come to be? Because there's different things. You might reach out to them, managers talk, labels talk. We get that. You know what I mean? I'm just curious about this collab.
Yeah, well, it kind of happened unexpectedly. We actually write with Nick Anderson from the Rex. He's our producer, so we've done our previous song, Gray, with him. So it was just kind of like we were writing Never Learn, and we're like, wait a second, this will be perfect for a feature. And we were all stoked on it. We were so excited about it.
And we met Nick through our attorney.
Yes.
So kind of a strange little thing, but it's worked out so great.
Yeah, it kind of fell into our laps.
And Dylinn, what do you think is hitting stride with the audience, with the listeners, with Never Learn? What do you think they're kind of like? What do you? It might be difficult to answer, but what do you think is kind of like hitting the vibes with the song? Like, what do you think people are liking about it?
I'd say that at least what I know I like about it is that it's catchy and it's fun to listen to, and you're engaged the entire song, and there's just a lot of emotion, and you just kind of want to dance to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's an emotional bop.
Yeah.
Hallie, when you're writing a song for Good Boy Daisy with your sister, or even when it's just kind of you just writing a song and just kind of vibing out, I mean, when do you kind of know you have something special? Is it kind of after you're writing it and then you're kind of playing it a little bit on the guitar? Like, when do you kind of know? Is it after recording it? You're like, this is a sick song. Like, when do you kind of know, Hallie?
I think, well, for me, it's a little different because Dylinn plays guitar and she'll write guitar parts. Yep. And usually I'm writing lyrics, but I think that there's definitely a kind of energy in the room. And whether that's at the beginning of the song or a little later in it when we start throwing it into Logic or Pro Tools or wherever, it's just kind of there. You start to find out that it's going to be a special song.
Same thing, Dylinn, a little bit like your guitar thing that you kind of just like riff around, and it's kind of just like, I have something here. Like I gotta tell my sister.
Exactly. For me, it's definitely more like, I'm just stumbling around doing things. And as soon as I hit one thing, I'm like, okay, wait, that was something. Let's go with this,
Absolutely. You guys did recently a stripped down version of Gray that you put on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that kind of trend during the pandemic, there's a lot of that type of stuff kind of circulating because unfortunately you can't tour, you can't play shows. So you're going to kind of do things like that. Was that kind of a little bit of kind of the outcome of the pandemic for Good Boy Daisy a little bit? You wanted to kind of do something while you couldn't really tour or play shows, like the great stripped down gray version?
Yeah, I mean, you see bands doing a bunch of live streams now, and we wanted to do this idea for a while since we started band because we knew that it would be pretty creative if we kind of split ourselves up with the instruments and everything. So it kind of just
We wanted to show that we could kind of cover all our bases and just like have fun with it. You know, for me, I'd play bass and some shaker, which is what I usually don't do, and just kind of like have fun with it. And we like the challenge of
playing all the parts and showing that we can do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, how long have you officially been Good Boy Daisy for?
Since 2015, about late July 2015.
So, but like for people that kind of follow you two on like Spotify, I believe like Gray was like the first like track.
Yes, we had a huge like rebranding. The first like maybe 3 or 4 years of us playing, it was just us finding our sound and getting comfortable on stage, and and then
we realized that we want to write music like what we listen to instead of playing, grunge stuff. So Good Boy Daisy really was re-announced around November when Gray was released, November 13th.
Do you think that's a misconception? Because, a lot of people might think like, oh, like they have only 1 or 2 singles, you know what I mean? They might not have been around for that long. Like, but there's like a lot of like behind the scenes of kind of writing these songs and working a bit. Do you think that's kind of a misconception a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we started writing for this new era of Good Boy Daisy around February of 2020. And I mean, I guess people could think that we're a newer band, but we do have, old Instagram posts and everything. And,
you can see our progress. And, but, we also wanted the rebranding. So, if anyone is wondering, they'll see we're kind of veterans on stage in some sense. Like we've done
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
For sure. How bad do you miss playing on stage? Yeah.
Oh, Dylinn.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
Is.
Yeah, we can't wait till it comes back around, but we still want to.
Everyone's just itching to do it. Yeah.
I think the craziest thing, I'm in Canada, it's different in different areas, but I remember like the big lockdown was essentially like March. But I remember, 2 weeks before that in February, we were just kind of living our lives. Like I went to like a hockey game and then like, boom. Like, as we know it, like, it's just crazy the turnaround of it.
Yeah, we definitely, our last gig was when?
March 17th.
We did not think that was going to be our last gig for a year plus or however long this is going to be.
Some people, they played a gig and then the next day, like, it was over. Like, they had to cancel, like, the whole tour.
Yeah. We had a little hurrah.
Quite a few gigs we had to cancel. And, luckily we slid our last one in there. We're hanging on to it.
I want to know in terms of musical influences, because this is going to be kind of different because like as a band, you're going to have kind of different artists that, you kind of look up to in terms of the sound you're making and you listen to. But then Hallie and Dylinn, you guys might have some artists that you just really enjoy that have nothing to do with kind of the writing of Good Boy Daisy. So I was just curious, what are some influences for like the band? And then I want to hear from both of you. What are your favorite kind of artists and genres of music?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Nothing But Thieves. I've been a fan of them for a long time. And as far as the band goes, I would say we're all across the board. We can go from Group Love to Still Woozy to it's all over.
Young the Giant, the Rex, like just all sorts of stuff. Absolutely.
Do you find that that's kind of a trend now in music where like they listen to Good Boy Daisy, there's a lot of sounds going on. You're not kind of putting yourself in a you both agree at the same time.
Like,
it's like why limit yourself? Like why? Like you're on all these really cool like rock and alt like Spotify playlists, which is excellent. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But like you're a lot of things. You're not just alternative. You're not just rock. You're not just like indie. You're a lot of different things, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and it kind of makes it easier, even though we've been working for like what feels like so long, like we know that we're going to be doing this forever and ever, so it's going to be easier for us to just spend that time to really solidify our sound. But
yeah, and to be able to write a lot of different things.
We just write what we wite. We have no intentions of writing a certain way.
Yeah.
Has the reception with Never Learn exceeded expectations in a little capacity?
Yes,
so much.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think it already has over 50,000 streams on Spotify, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's up there somewhere. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it
is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're having a good time here. The vibes are good. So, sometimes, it's more serious interviews. We're having a good time here. So I need to ask both of you, Hallie, Dylinn, are you a fan of the dad jokes? Do you enjoy the dad jokes?
If it's a good dad joke.
Okay, well, I happen to be a dad joke connoisseur. So I have them rapid fire. Like, did you guys hear about the kidnapping? It's okay.
Ooh, I may have heard this.
It's okay. He woke up.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Or what did the drummer name her 3 daughters?
I'm not even gonna answer because it's gonna be dumb. Let's hear it.
Anna 1, Anna 2, Anna 1.
Woo! I like it. I haven't heard that one as a drummer.
You heard of the kidnapping one?
I think I did.
I haven't.
I have a calendar that literally has a dad joke a day.
Oh, so these aren't yours?
Wow, how original.
Well, you know what? I'm like recycling. You know what I mean? I can't just come up with them.
They were new to me.
Yes,
they were new to me.
Okay, next time you guys come on the show, I will tell you a joke that I have created. How about that?
Perfect, and we'll bring one too.
Okay, absolutely. Learning experiences. Whenever you kind of write a song or, experiment in the studio, there's always going to be learning experiences. For both of you, what were some learning experiences, not only with the creation of Never Learn, but the whole kind of what we talked about, putting it on Spotify, doing press, getting it out there? What was that whole thing like, learning experiences like for you guys?
I'd say for me, I'm working towards being, a producer of my own and, sitting side by side with Nick and watching him work in his flow and, all the little tricks to Pro Tools and that. And, examples like when there's too much going on or not enough in what he's adding and, all that, it just like blew my mind completely. And it's been such a great experience working with him.
Yeah.
What about you, Hallie?
Oh, I was very shocked to see how much was involved in a release. That's definitely it. It's not just musically how much I have learned, but just everything like these interviews and socials and getting out there. There's a lot to juggle, and it's very creative, and it's a good creative door for both of us.
Was the release day as stressful as you thought it was going to be?
That was the easiest day.
That seems pretty easy.
Really? Yeah. Because I've interviewed people and they say it's the opposite. They feel like release days are like the most stressful day because you're putting it out there, right? So you have social posts, there's some press you might have to do day of.
Yes, maybe the first 5 minutes after it's done and I'm on Instagram and Twitter and putting up all of our promos and everything, and then I, sweat and stress, and then it's over within 5 minutes, and then we get to see reactions.
It's funny too, because another thing too, like another genre, like because a lot of the bands you were kind of talking about, like Young the Giant, Nothing But Thieves, like those bands, those are like they're technically like a group of like indie rock, right? Yes. But I find it kind of really weird, and I talk to bands about this. I mean, that whole thing drives me bananas because the whole thing is like indie is like independent, right? Doing it yourself, DIY. Yeah. Vampire Weekend, Tame Impala, these bands are playing stadiums.
Yeah.
And are like the biggest bands in the world. Like that's kind of upside down a little bit, isn't it?
It's definitely taken over.
Do you find that kind of do you find that that's like indie rock has kind of taken a whole new term because of that?
I think we just continue to call it indie rock, and it just originated somewhere with independent bands that got big, and here we are calling indie rock a genre now. I
know, it's crazy. The genres are not a thing anymore, though. They're not,
which is great.
But like, there's like tons of sounds. Even like if we just look at Never Learn, there's a lot of sounds going on there.
Yes, sir.
There's a little bit of like the R&B in there a little bit. I'm just saying there is.
I can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is for sure. There's a lot going on. Hallie, Dylinn, thank you so much for coming on Popternative.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so much.
having
This was
us.
great.
Absolutely. So plug away. People can listen to the band wherever they listen to music.
Here we go. Yes. Okay. You can find us anywhere at Good Boy Daisy on our websites, goodboydaisy.com, Spotify, all of it's under Good Boy Daisy.
And where can they follow the band on social media? Where can they follow you guys on social media?
At Good Boy Daisy on any social media, and then at Hallie.gbd, and then at Dylinn.gbd for any of our personals.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for doing this. Congrats on the success of Never Learn. It's a great
Thank
track.
you.
I want all my
Thank you.
viewers to listen to that song because it's excellent.
Thank
And
you.
no, seriously, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Hallie and Dylinn from Good Boy Daisy and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.